In January 2022, I lost a job because I wasn't vaccinated. I had a vax card showing one shot, I had a blood test showing that I still had antibodies and a doctor's exemption, and I was willing to get tested every day. They didn't care. I couldn't go to restaurants, gyms, malls, events. So when the anti-mandate rally came to Los Angeles, I attended it to represent those of us who were suddenly societal outcasts, just for doing what the government asked us to do. Even if you fundamentally disagree with someone else's stance, does that justify the lack of compassion for them losing their livelihoods?
Every creed, standing here together.
All we have to do is get up.
We have Democrats, we have Republicans, we have those who have taken the shot, those who did not have.
No matter what they try, I will always fight for you.
And I have been the lucky recipient of thousands of dollars in medical bills. When I look in the mirror, I don't recognize the woman I see. Once a strong and independent and adventure-loving woman is now a woman who can barely stand and breathe. I've worked my entire life to get to where I was, financially stable and in a job I loved. But one shot changed it all. It was last year that I received my second Moderna vaccine. Within about 36 hours, I had nausea, vomiting, and then it turned into breathing difficulty. The 5th day after the vaccine, ended up in the hospital. And then exactly a week after, I was on the ventilator. They put the trach in because I was having spasms. I've had neurological issues that's made it difficult for walking. I've had some doctors look at me and say, yes, we think it's the vaccine. But when you read their documentation, it's very vague. Sometimes I have days where you just think, this is my life. This is baseline, this is the new norm. How do I function and learn to function this way, and how do I accept it? And that's difficult at times.
President Biden, Fauci, FDA, how many more deaths do you have to be responsible for before you start listening and responding? Social media platforms censor us. Media outlets say we share misinformation when we share our stories.
Being vaccine injured, I've seen hate from both sides. The Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal.
This is not a left issue. This is not a right issue. This is an American issue. This is a global issue.
Coming from a healthcare background and being a physical therapist, I believe that the FDA, the CDC, those organizations were there to protect us. And through this entire situation, I have been proven wrong.
Nobody knows, but we need to fight so the people that made this shit will stand up and tell us what to do to get our lives back, you know?
I've had people tell me, this isn't a listed reaction from the CDC, so this can't be a reaction. People say coincidence. Well, you know what? This vaccine is a leading cause of coincidence. That's exactly how I feel.
I will always fight for you. I will stand here.
At the rally, I was surrounded by many people that I disagreed with politically, and that was a new experience for me.
I will not give up on you. I will shield you from the
I received my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine on January 2nd, and within 10 days I was paralyzed in the hospital, and I am 19 years old. Since the vaccine, I've had to be on a medical leave from college, so I haven't gone back to it yet. It's hard to even look past getting out of bed to think that I could ever be able to go to college or do that.
But I hope that you can feel that I will always fight for you.
Originally, my integrative doctor was like, I've seen some people get set back in their Lyme from the vaccine. I don't know if it's a good idea for you. She actually got threats from the government, like telling her, like, if you tell people not to get it or write exemptions or any of this, like, you are going to lose your license and your practice will be shut down.
We all handled it fine. So when she said she was going to get it, I didn't discourage her.
My neurologist and my primary doctor that I've seen since I was a kid were like pushing me to get it. They were like, you'll be fine, you won't have a reaction, it's totally safe, just get it. I got the second shot and I was in the bathroom and all of a sudden it felt like shooting fire, like stabbing pains, like flying down my legs. Everything in my body was like cramping up and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm on the toilet right now. And so I had to call both of them in because like I was stuck. So they admitted me, and they still couldn't figure out what was happening, and I couldn't move anything from the waist down. The nurses told me there are kids here that are going through the exact same thing that happened to you, that has either been sick from COVID or got the vaccine. And then I'd ask the doctors, and they'd say, no, there's not. What was the thing that she wanted to say that I had? Conversion disorder. The doctor that was in charge of the rehabilitation center, his assistant, said that he thought it was the vaccine and that he was gonna give me a medical exemption for the booster. And he came in my room on the last day and told me that they weren't giving me a medical exemption from it, that they can't classify it as that.
This is Riley. She's also vaccine injured. She's 8. Hopefully we can get this started. Yeah. Hopefully we can all get our feeling back in our legs.
Yep.
When the news came out, when the media and the government, that there was slaves for an effective vaccine, 7 months later, FEMA contacted me and asked me to change the cause of death to my son to COVID so that they could help me financially. I told them I would never do that.
Autopsy report, death certificate, badge card, I have everything with me all the time.
And the death certificate's clear, huh? Yeah.
And well, I have the actual death certificate.
Wow. The copy of the badge card, birth certificate.
Do you do that because you know people question you, or?
No, I always keep my son's information, and then I figure if eventually I run into the right person that's going to try to help me, they're going to ask me, by any chance you have your paperwork with you? I got it with me. I said, you know what, I'm just tired. I was thinking about giving up. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to speak no more. I just stay at home, you know. And then I was going through my file cabinet, and I found a Father's Day card that he gave me a couple years ago. And I just cried for about 2, 3, maybe more, I don't know, hours. And I said, I believe it's my son telling me to keep fighting. Because I guess, I was thinking about giving up. And I figured I need to keep fighting.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you for being there every day with me and when I needed you the most. You gave me whatever I wanted, even thought I was spoiled. There's no possible way to pay you back for all the things you've done for me. I am really lucky to have you as my dad. Also, if you can't read this, it's because it's 3:45 in the morning and I am really tired. Love you. From Junior.
I have a vaccine injury from the vaccine that I took on 1/5/2021. 3 days later, these symptoms that you see right now started. When I got to the hospital, there was a doctor in my room, and he said, I know this is from the vaccine, and we're not going to stop until we get you right. I never saw that doctor in my room again. The nurses would run down to my room because they could hear my bed shaking from the nurses' station. Well, after the 5th day, they told me that my insurance had denied my entire stay because the only thing they submitted was bilateral leg weakness. My bill is over $60,000. I have no income. I have my husband. I mean, he's supporting us.
We have become our own doctors and researchers because the CDC or the NIH will not acknowledge us. If you end up like us, there is no medical help for you. And there sure isn't any financial help for you at all either.
The day I took my shot, I was functioning, I was healthy, I was happy, and 4 days later, I can't walk.
Nobody knows what to do with us. Nobody. I've spent so much money, and then when you meet someone that says, oh, well, this works for me, and then you do it, it doesn't work for you, it's hard not to go, why did it work for you and not for me,
So then in June, my speech started going out, not being able to walk right. I'm having tremors in my fingers. There's a lot of people that are out there that are like me.
I've actually been 8 weeks symptom-free. I don't know how long that's gonna last. I don't know.
Angelia was so excited because it had been like 6 or 7 weeks with no symptoms. had an episode today and just balled up, and that was really sad to see.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear April. Happy birthday to you.
What people don't know is that there are certain party tricks that you can do. So explain, Maddie. This is a party trick. Explain it.
So when you put down pressure, it makes you shake more.
Did that happen because of the pressure?
Yeah, when she tried to get in, she tried to focus. She'll start shaking more. She's trying to aggravate.
They wanted to get dressed up and go out. And now people want to get dressed up and go out. And she's sick to be here.
Was that Angelia?
It's like magic.
That's so she's not doing well. For the first time hanging out with a bunch of vaccine-injured people, it's wild to be around so many people who have had the same experience as me. The same experience in terms of like people not wanting to listen. And
no matter what they try, I will always fight for you.